Hi, I'm with Victor Seah, the Chairman and CEO of Nestlé Indochina, and we are discussing navigating change to achieve success in emerging markets. Good afternoon, Victor.
Hi, Mei Wai.
Hi, thank you for inviting me for a cup of coffee to discuss and exchange our experience on change.
Well, first thing, welcome to Bangkok. I must say you look really good after not seeing you for many, many years.
Thank you.
Maybe just to put things in some context for you, Nestlé Indochina, it's a really old company. Nestlé itself is a 150-year-old organization, and Nestlé has been in Indochina for more than 120 years. So we are quite old, quite established, and we have done certain things a certain way and quite successfully, I must add, for many, many years. However, in the recent years, we have been really disrupted like we have never been disrupted before. I think just to give you an example, in the world of e-commerce, 10 years ago, if you wanted to launch a new product, you had to go and see a big customer like Tesco, pay huge listing fees, you had to go and cut TV commercials, and before you even start your business, you are in a hole. Today, if you want to start up an e-commerce business, it's very easy. A good product, you put it on the e-commerce site quite easily, you have digital marketing, and there you go. So in my world today, there are many, many businesses that have come into this space and it's really disrupted us. So we have to change. So I see three things we have to do better. So one, it's about speed. We have to move much faster. Gone are the days where it takes 18 to 24 months to launch a new product. Today we have to do it between 4 to 6 months. And while we do not compromise safety and quality in our products, our brand managers are now trained to do things much faster. And the entire value chain has to be done much faster with more entrepreneurial spirit. Secondly, from a portfolio perspective, Nestlé Indochina is heavily reliant on one brand, Nescafé. It's more than 50% of our sales. And today we have to build new pillars. And with the emerging trends of convenience happening and the e-commerce space, there are many new pillars we have to look at, such as liquidification, such as ready to eat. And within the Thai context particularly, there's an aging society coming. Thailand will become the most aging society in Asia in the next 5 years. And hence, we have to start building a portfolio really to serve what we call the good lifers. And maybe on a third perspective, we have to be more digitally savvy. The world has moved, again, very, very fast in this space. In fact, when I knew you, digital marketing was probably non-existent. And today it is what become the norm of what we do today. In Indochina, we have actually invested in e-business unit, bringing experts in, and we work with companies like Google and Facebook online to really upgrade our skills. It's a new space, it's about testing and learning, but it's really trying to get organization behind getting more digitally savvy. I think with this, we should be able to at least make ourselves more consumer-centric for the future.
Thank you for sharing, Victor.
So based on your experiences, do you have any advice for companies like us?
Yes, I definitely can share with you some thoughts around driving change in organizations, particularly in emerging markets. I think, first of all, I wanted to say that indeed the pace of change is a key consideration. And what we are finding is that many companies are realizing what have brought them to success in the past may not bring them to success in the future. And we're noticing many companies going into deep dives of their business and brand so that they can calibrate and recalibrate their strategies and even fine-tune their current roadmaps that they thought was quite sacred and was the right route. Secondly, I think what's really apparent is to win, particularly in emerging markets, is to ensure that you have the right brand portfolio. And when I talk about the right brand portfolio, I mean the portfolio that works now, that best serves the consumers, that we've identified market segments that we want to play so as to give the greatest returns. This means fitted purpose, fitted portfolio, and have that courage to make and refine the change. Because some of the changes that have taken place, and we're seeing in organizations in emerging markets, is that they have to review even their strategic business and brands. They may have to reposition them. There are situations where brands that were strategic become tactical, and then they are not performing anymore due to the areas that you were talking about, relevance to the new generation, and they have to be rationalized. So it can be a painful process. And then obviously, other kinds of refinement could include introducing and entering new segments where you may have to come in with new brands. In the whole process, obviously, identification of strategic innovation is important. And when I talk about strategic innovation, I'm not talking about just innovation of products, but strategic innovations that will be critical for the future pillars of the company. Or it could be strategic innovations that help position your leading brands. For example, if you are a leader and you want to be that leader in the premium segment, you have to have that mental leadership, meaning the innovations could be in the form of whether it's packaging, the way you sell, the channel, in many cases even innovation in processes cross-functionally, if you want to go into omni-channel as you were talking about as well, and e-commerce. And obviously, all these areas will not be able to be achieved without in-depth research and understanding of insights of the consumers in the emerging markets. I think most important of all, obviously, is trusted market intelligence that can make that difference. So Victor, coming back to
Sorry, can I ask you a question, if I may?
Yes, sure.
So, I'm sure you worked with many different organizations in this. From a time frame perspective, how long does it take to change a mindset within an organization to drive this kind of change?
How long does it take to change the mindset? So you're talking about the people aspects.
Yes. Well, starting from top management, again, to take a context of a company like Nestlé, who's again been very successful for a long time. Sometimes it takes a bit of convincing to get this done. So in your context, I'm sure you worked with many MNCs as well as local conglomerates. How do you actually then have them take this journey?
Okay. First of all, many people see mindset relating to just, this is the old way of doing things, and then we want to shift to the new way. But how we approach it is very much a very collaborative approach that clearly starts from articulating in the cross-functional top management team. So clearly, everybody participates in that journey. So they are already on board, and it then filters down all the way down to operations and your partners and all that. So if it's a carefully managed process, understanding your planning period, it's just a shift in the approach to doing it. But what makes the difference when you have to make critical decisions in change is the thoroughness and details in the deep dive and audit to ensure that we are very clear of what are the segments that are new and arising, how we could be playing in that through global products or adapting and creating new products, that the entire integration of the process is looped in, so it is one approach in change. Everybody moves in one direction with one clear communication. Now again, in terms of the time frame of change, it differs. It differs. If the leader of the organization, I wouldn't say CEO, it could be the owner of a company, or it could be a chairman of another company. Now if they set that and run it in a very tight manner, this would speed the process up. However, if it's managed in a very loose manner where you see change leaders may not be reporting to the right people, or human resources left to the last minute to be dealt with, which often happens in many cases in companies, this would delay the process and make the process inefficient.
Cool.
So, Victor, can I ask you a question around the fact that I understand that you've put Nestlé in a new trajectory in Indochina? That's impressive. And I wanted to understand how important it is for you that the people are behind the common vision, mission. How important is it for you in engaging with them as well as in change programs?
Well, almost perfect timing, because you all just spoke about actually engaging organizations behind this. It is very, very important. So actually what we have done here is that myself and my entire management, last year we spoke to 3,500 employees, all of them. I went on a roadshow. I went to every factory, every sales region, all the countries under Indochina, which is Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, including Thailand. And I spoke to every person in big groups, in small groups, talking to them about the future of the organization and why we must change. Within the head office as well, I do many informal lunches with probably 2-3 times a month with groups of 8 to 10, so I can engage them. I recently started Instagram to really engage the young people. We have a program here called Workplace by Facebook. Again, another social media program that we actually engage the organization with that. So with things like this, I think it's really important that we continue to engage the organization. I think we have to create ownership for change. And I think ultimately we do that. I think people will really realize the urgency of that and they can move with that. So aligning our organization with change programs, as you may say, is really, really important.
Thank you very much, Victor. It's been a pleasure meeting you today and having coffee with you. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Mei Wai.
Thank you.